Oh, can you hear me? Hey, Robert Jones. Welcome, welcome. All right, so like it's gonna look like I'm looking away from the camera, of course, because my computer's over there and my guitar's here and all this, and I want to be able to read what you guys are saying. What's up, Paul? The most impressive thing you learned in '87. Exactly. Once you learn how to start playing some Van Halen, you realize you're never going to sound like Van Halen. So the best you can do is try and try and try. What's up? What's up, Mike? What's up, Paul? What's up, Robert Jones? Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. This is the my Frankenstrat, the MGB, MBG, whatever those tuners are. Floyd to the body and the EVH drop tuner. I have been doing nothing but playing and singing Eddie Van Halen stuff, and the one I love so much. What's up, Pops? How you doing, Dad? Thanks for showing up, man. There's so many things I could talk about Eddie forever about. Everybody, of course, thinks tapping, but his rhythm playing and his progressions. And thanks, Kevin. Well, welcome. Thank you, guys. First off, thank you everybody for being here. I really wanted to talk last night about Eddie, and obviously that wasn't going to happen with no microphone happening. So hopefully you guys can hear me and you can hear the guitar. I've been playing 5150 off of that same album, like just nonstop. And I've always just thought that was just such a like a personal riff to him. I have all sorts of Van Halen books here and transcriptions and stuff. And that one is, of course, down a half step like most of their stuff, and then also drop D. So hey, what's up, Guns Console Kids? What's up, Justin? Thanks for being here, man. We're all talking about how much we love Eddie, man. And 5150, this has the drop tuno, which I guess he kind of, at that time during the late 80s, he hadn't developed this yet, but he would have one guitar drop down a half step and then another one in a half step down with the E string tuned down a whole step. So, and man, like Unchanged, that whole thing. But to me, 5150 is like the evolution of that drop D. And then when he gets to the verse, I mean, that's just, you're just like, oh, Eddie, you are the man, like that kind of stuff, that groove, that soul that he and his brother would get together. And I know everybody talks about Van Halen and Van Hagar. To me, it's just Eddie being Eddie at a different time period of his life. Hey, Rob. Hey, what's up, brother? Good to see you. First off, thank you guys again for hanging out. All in honor of Eddie. And I want to show off a couple of the tricks that I've learned by using a whammy bar, things that he really inspired me on. No phaser on that. A touch of chorus. I have the MD500 going on the prime chorus, pretty much the stock setting. And it just gives that, like one of the things that Eddie would do would get that a little delay, a little reverb, very little delay. And then bring the volume down, for that clean sound, like. Oh, see, that's the nice thing. I'm in drop D. Now I just go grab that thing, put it in. And he would use that volume control, you know, and the cold bias. Yeah. So he used the old Marshall and would really crank it. And man, he lied to people in magazines for so long that he used a variac to increase the voltage. And I know Kevin and I were talking about this one time. He actually would decrease the voltage and it would saturate even more. If you start really turning up the voltage on the amp the way that he was talking about, you blow up amps. And I know people were doing that left and right in the 80s. Going, oh, I'm chasing the Van Halen sound and I'm using the variac and cranking it. No, he would dial it down and really, really push those tubes. And that's my favorite distortion pedal to kind of get that. And what I'm using right now into a clean amp, I have the BEOD, the original one. And I know that there's a couple of different versions. Mike Newberry here has the newer version, the dual stage one, and it has a mid. You jerk, you got the one with the mids. Yeah, starve those tubes. Yep, exactly. And that's what he would do with that volume. He would get that whole kind of a clean sound. So, and he always had the Floyd right to the body too. He didn't do the floaty thing, you know, like I have on a couple of the guitars. He didn't do that Steve Vai stuff. Drop dead legs. Yeah, I'm not going to try to swing that hard. I can't. It took me forever to learn Beautiful Girls, and I'm not even trying that one. Drop Dead Legs is like, man, I mean, that's pinnacle swing, you know, and I can't swing that hard. That's like, we'll go back to what Paul was saying at the beginning. You can try, and that's one of those ones that's like, yeah, like there's just no way, you know. Drop Dead Legs. It's that 1984 album. Okay, so I'm playing Atari 1984 because, you know, everybody else had their ColecoVision and all that stuff. Damn right, right? And I had heard that sound before, the sound of this guitar. And I think I told this story a couple of times today, probably. But I recognized that sound. And I was only like at that point 13 or 14 years old. And Jump comes on the radio. And I'm like, there's that sound. And it took me back to when I was like, I think like 10 or 11, and I was on my bike. And I was driving by one of the bad kids in the neighborhood. And he had his boombox cranked. And it was, I heard, have you seen Junior's grades? And that, and I was like, I pedaled my bike. I'm scared, Mom. What is that? That scary sound, you know? And then, you know, later on, I heard like, you know, like, what was it? Can't get my majors and minors straight, but I heard that and it was like, hey, hold on, that's that band, right? And then it was and it was like when 1984 hit and that album came out, it was just like, okay, I need a guitar, I need to figure what that is all about. Beautiful Girls was the last song. Yeah, right. I remember Byron can attest to this. Beautiful Girls was the last song. Paul, first off, Paul, thank you for your service, thank you for being here. And you inspired me so much in high school. Watching you play made me want to keep on playing and chatting with you about stuff. You know, I remember you showing me a B minor chord, but I also remember Byron sitting there and humming the Beautiful Girls riff to me and trying to get me to learn it. And at that point, I didn't even quite understand what drop down a half step meant, but that's how I keep this guitar. I keep this one down a half step and a couple others down. So this is an E flat instead of E. So if you're trying to play along, that's why it sounds a little different. I want to show like a couple of my favorite Van Halen tricks with the whammy bar, stuff that I always thought was really cool. The first one would be the elephant. So you'd have to do from open strings, you got a 5th fret, 7th fret, and 12th fret harmonic. So you got, and then you have, and then, okay, and they all play together. So, and it's not fretting those notes, it's the harmonic, you know, directly over the fret, you know, but not fretting anything, just barely touching the string. And we're deadening that spot, and the rest of the string is ringing. It's creating that pitch. So the three of those play together. You keep the volume down, and you start with the bar down after you make those. So you go like this. I play these. You got to have a lot of gain, and I'm going to go ahead and bring the delay up some here to really, really tweak that. Like an elephant, like an elephant in the jungle, right? I love that one. He was the master at squeals and things like that. So yeah, 5th, 7th, and 12th. And then bring it down, bring up the volume and do that. And I'm messing around, but you can really get it if you Yeah, so evil, right? And so he was so great at doing those pinch harmonics, not just those natural harmonics, but the pinch ones. So where you kind of take, I use this part of my thumb and the pick together, and I rake this part of my index finger across. So if I'm doing a G string at the 4th fret, and I know, like, as well, it's similar to the natural harmonics, you kind of have to find that spot where you want the squeal. So there it is for me on this guitar. It's right over the middle pickup. And then he would. Taught my son that trick. Yeah, right. Yep. That's where the pinch is where the goosebumps originate. Yeah, man. Yeah, I saw you today. You're like, oh, that guy. He just. And I always do that George Lynch fan, to kind of just make it more. But that's scrape, and then you find the spot. He kind of stole that a little from Billy Gibbons and his whole And I call those bounce harmonics, but it's not really that. I kind of, you're bouncing your finger off the string at different harmonic points. And with that, there's so much delay. Oh, okay. With delay. Now we're on that. He played peso. He played with the peso. And yeah, one of the things they were saying too, he used a metal pick and he would put it in his mouth a lot to get that whole. He was going to do all that, and he would put it on his forehead or something like that. And then metal contributed to him having to have that tongue surgery, having tongue cancer and stuff. Fuck cancer. God, I hate cancer. I think I finally gained control, but man, this has been a gripping 24 hours. Just listening to this music and venturing into the memories and going into these places in your mind where you remember, I remember hearing this song. I remember having this on Betamax. We're watching like, some of the 5150 stuff live. And it was just like, oh God, man. It really brings you to that place. So some of the other really cool tricks that he would do while I have some delay up. Cathedral. Remember Cathedral? Started with a nice, with that like kind of 7th chord. Oh yeah, this is in standard, right? So I got to do the whole drop tuna. Oh, no, I go back to normal. So all of that delay, it's like lump in my throat all day, like hear certain songs and it's just like you fight it for a minute, all this delay, it's probably around 400 milliseconds or so, and a couple of repeats, and it's a bunch of major chords in a row, and Cathedral was awesome. Eddie's tricks, his innovation with just the simplest effects, and that's where Tom Morello kind of took it too. You just take a couple of bass effects that you really like and just use them. Heck, back then, Eddie, that's all they had back then for him. That original wash. And then that, it's really hard with this guitar because of the whammy bar. Take this off real quick. Yeah, the whammy bar gets in your way. I always felt like he played this on an Explorer or something without that, but I mean, that whole bouncing delay, you just play one note and then you get that whole kind of a thing, you know, and that I love the descending part in there when he gets up. Thanks, Case. I love you, sweetie. Yep. Oh, look, Poppy saying hi to you, Casey. So that whole delay thing just kind of taking over, just one note and just a little volume swell. And especially if you can get it to pan, I'm running stereo. It just, man, I mean, you can do that kind of stuff. Feel you, dog. You know, I mean, he was the master. He was just a master of all that kind of stuff. And hey, Mike Newberry here, who's joining us tonight. He and I were just messaging just the other day about he got it. You know, it was like, okay, yeah, there was the Van Halen era with Roth that was all about the party and the groove, and then Hagar comes along, and it was just at that right moment for Eddie when those songs were what really mattered, you know. And that's why to me that 5150, it shows so much of Eddie's personality and the kind of things that he was trying to achieve in his songwriting and the just the level of it. And when you listen to that album with the Steinberger guitar, where he's moving in between tunings within the songs, like Summer Nights, you hear him like move the bar and lock it into a whole different key. It's like, whoa, man, like that's just crazy. The stuff that he was doing was just crazy. I have this picture of him with the Ripley guitar. And I did a review of the Ripley bass, the stereo bass. This thing, I would have loved to have seen him play that. I have this magazine I got, let's see, this one's April 87, okay? I mean, it has 5150 in it, Shy Boy. Come on, the transcription is Shy Boy, you know, Alan Holdsworth and Dokken in My Dreams. So here I am, a 17-year-old, about 3 years into playing guitar, and magazines like this were showing up in my house. And it was a dream come true for a kid my age, you know, really learning this kind of stuff, you know. I have the 5150 book somewhere and some of their older stuff, but I've lost them, you know, just in time. I've handed them out. So I've still got this one. I'm trying to think, what were some of the other really, really cool tricks other than too much tapping? I don't want to get into too much tapping, but yeah, you probably did. You probably had that one. I had so many tab books. I mean, obviously there's a small collection of them back there, but it was a maturity. Yeah, it was a maturity at that era. Yeah, and if he wanted a sound, he found it. You're right, Kevin. Like when I was talking about being scared by everybody, or was it Everybody Wants Some? No. Have you seen Junior's grades? It just that organ sound into a Marshall with the phaser or the flanger, whatever it was. It's just like holy moly, what is that sound? And he just wanted something bigger than the guitars, and he was pursuing these keyboard sounds and these synth sounds, and that's how he, you know, those intervals are all over the place, all those cage shapes. He's such a cage shaped guy, you know. That's just that a G major up on the 17, 16, and 15, and then C, F, you know, back to G, and then like two forms of F. You do it here, and then a C shape, and and then at G suspended, 10, 7, 8. And that's keyboard right hand stuff, and then it sounds cool on guitar, but then he throws you in there with just a C, like, I mean, that's epic, and you can't just sit around and jam that with David Lee Roth. Like, you have to write it. You have to be at that point of writing it and presenting it to him, saying, this is what this is. Steve Vai told a story about visiting 5150 and Ed saying he'd done every song through that one. Oh, really? Yeah. Yep. How you doing, Will? Good to see you. Hey, Ryan Beck. What's up, brother? You're going to bust out the power. Oh, that's the trick. That was one of the tricks. Thank you, Ryan. Yes, I'll go get the power drill right now. I hope your boy's watching. I hope Parker's watching too. Again, thank you, everybody. I'm drinking a little coffee. You might have noticed I'm a little amped, but it's been a long day. I started off the day moving a trailer at 6:15 in the morning. So, yes. Where is the drill? Okay, stand by, all right? I'll riff. Use cordless if you do this. Don't try this at home. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining. Yeah, man. I love that stuff. Oh, and Byron, my buddy Byron sent me, he was playing some Panama. One of the coolest things about that, man, when he shifts to that minor. Anyway, yeah, you know what I'm saying. There's wow, yeah, you like the drill? Oh. Yeah, that's the beginning of Pound Cake, right? And yeah, so many of those shapes, like the 5150 song that I was playing earlier. Drop D, I should probably tune, but the 5150, it's that D shape, and then he throws these susses in, so he'll move that D, the third of the chord. He'll lower it to the second a lot of times, that kind of rush sound. And that's really what that is. It's like an A shape, but here at D. And then you got your C shape, there's C, but then he's doing it here at 7, and so it's an E. And then you got your D shape to A to E. So it's all just a couple of simple chords, Yes, mean street. Yeah, such a great, amazing album. I mean, Fair Warning was like he was pissed. Like, you listen to that album, and Eddie's like just pissed, and you could hear them partying while they're recording that album. Yeah, that that album, every album to me is just a different kind of a thing. Nothing will ever be like the first one. Nothing will ever sound like the first one. And I don't think they ever really chased it. I think they just evolved from it. And I think everybody everybody grew with the Van Halen sound, and I think people parted in different ways. You know, once the songwriting kind of changed, and once this and that happened, some kids these camps and this camps. But I think now we all can sit here and agree that Eddie was God. You know, he was, to me, just, he made me pick up the guitar just like Michael Jackson made me want to dance, and just like watching my friends play video games and walking into their houses and seeing their video game collections, they made me want to do stuff. The motivation that that guy drove our way is just undeniable. When you took your son as a 14-year-old, right? Yeah, right. You brought your son to a Van Halen concert, and 6 months later, he was a better player than you. I mean, oh, right. Those are the goosebump moments. Those are the moments you can't explain to people unless you've really been there. And that's why I really wanted to chat with as many people as I could, because so many people have messaged me, and thank you for that. I mean, it's not like I really knew Eddie, you know, I didn't know him, but I loved him. And I feel like everybody I know that really knows me knew that, and you all really reached out and just kind of shared your stories and just said, "Hey, man, I hear you." So, yeah, man, I haven't been able to play guitar for a month. I've had my hand hurt, and many of you guys have heard this story, but the cuts and the splinters and the infections going on in this left hand. Like, I got home last night and it felt good enough to play, and I played, and I wanted to stream and chat, but it didn't work out. So I just kept playing, and I played at lunch today, and every chance I've gotten, I've played some Van Halen on the radio. Thank you, Paul. Thank you. Of course, I've missed live streaming. It's really nice to finally have it going again too. You know, thank you for being here again, everybody. I mean, look, if there's anything on this list that you guys want me to just play real quick, anything that you guys see, if I don't know it, I can at least open it up here, you know, and try to work out a little bit of it. Some of this stuff is just, you know, just extraordinary stuff to me. Hey, thanks, Kevin. Yeah, Van Halen. You know, when I play, I show some of that on my sleeve. Little guitars. I don't have a little guitar. I need a capo for that one. Oh, shoot. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what I can at least pull out of that one. Yeah, I mean, he just, you know, he spoke to so many of us back then. HIJKL. I don't know the alphabet anymore. Why do they put these things in alphabetical order? It doesn't matter to me. Little guitars intro, and then there's little guitars. Music sounds minor third down the written because he used a small scale guitar, tuned a minor third higher than a normal guitar with the 6-string drop down one whole step. So the tuning on little guitars, the main song is F, C, F, B flat, D, G. So I could tackle that one day. He has it in here, I guess, with a capo as well in here. And then everything else, the little guitars is all like capo placed at the 12. Yeah. I don't think I could do that one, Paul. You're busting my balls here. Senorita, I'm in trouble again, and I won't play the song. Yeah, right? Senorita. So amazing. Parker wants to hear me do Running with the Devil. Okay, cool. I think we can do that. Mean Street or little guitars. Mean Street. I can run through some Mean Street. Spinning Van Halen on. Yep, Bottoms Up. I think Bottoms Up is in there. No, it's not in there. That's not in there. Oh, I could Google it real quick though. And he shaped a lot of it. Oh man. Okay, Atomic Punk. I mean, first off, there's another one of those sounds, right? That yeah, okay. Let me look up Atomic Punk. That's the first one that came in. So yeah, that phaser at the beginning, right? So yeah, Byron just got a phaser. Oh yeah. So I should be in the right tuning. Yeah, man. Heck yeah. Yeah. Atomic Punk. Phasor. Yes. All right. What else do we got here? Somebody said Mean Street or Little Guitars. I was doing a little Mean Street earlier. Man, that middle part. Oh, I wanted to learn that middle groove and just try to teach that a little bit tonight. But, woo, that is hot. That middle groove, when they boogie that middle groove down, it's just like, holy moly. I mean, that intro is crazy. Yeah, man, Mean Street was sick. Oh man, so what's that? I'm not even gonna really try to groove that middle part because it's just so insane. But that whole middle part, what's it? It's like a I can't. It's so good, you know, like it's just so good. And I'm not that good. I'm not that good. I'm not Eddie. And that goes right back to what we were saying at the beginning, you know, so groovy. If you're not Eddie and you don't have Alex playing behind you, you're never really going to recreate that. The best you can do is sit around and practice it and try to put your own spin on it. You ever see Brad Paisley do Mean Street? Oh, like, damn, like really good. Like Brad Paisley's a beast of a player, you know, like just such a good player. Let's see, you need Alex, you know, the whole thing of them swapping instruments is just, it's so funny. I'm just looking. Oh, the everybody likes. I always like the hyper. Oh, another trick, another great. You got to have a little bit of you got to have some gain going on for this. But okay, so 4, 2, and 0, 4, 2, 0, 420 on frets, G string, 4, 2, 0, and then slide your pinky across the G string. So yeah, you know. Paisley isn't fair, right? Yeah, it's just not a song so good. Vi's parody of was a masterpiece. So, which song? What did Vi do a parody of? Oh yeah. Right. Did you see that picture Thomas McRoughlin shared? Oh man, he said Eddie used to call him a little bastard, and I bet, man, Thomas McRoughlin has become a beast of a player. I mean, he was already a beast at like what, 1? Yeah, audience is listening. Yep. I'm so Van Halen right now. I can't remember the vibe riff, but yeah, audience is listening. Yeah, that was a barn burner, of course. Yeah, that shuffle boogie thing. But yeah, can you imagine being Thomas McLaughlin and hanging out with Steve Vai and Eddie and I think Ted from Bill and Ted, where it was in the picture that he had put up. And Thomas McLaughlin is a beast. Really, check him out on YouTube if you remember him. Like he's gotten so good, you know. Like his playing is very groove, you know. The whole tapping, you know, we can't get too. I don't want to get too much into the tapping because it takes away from so much of stuff. Oh yeah, that Hot for Teacher, that to me is just like it's like Tush, you know, or not Tush, a ZZ Top. As you know, like Van Halen saying, "Okay, we could do that, you know, man, but we're gonna do it." You know, and Eddie taught us all, you know, if you really sat down and listened, Eddie taught us all where that blue note was in our pentatonic scale, that whole going down the sequence. Let's see, we're in A minor, 8/5, you know, and then 8/5, and then pentatonic would be 7/5, but then we get that 8. So yeah. You know, he always had that in there somewhere. You know, that's Dave playing on Ice Cream Man. You know, that's Dave playing acoustic guitar on that thing. Your keyboard just yeah, right on. Thank you, brother. I wish, you know, like Eddie was the man. When I was 16, I could actually play all this stuff. Now I'm just sitting around trying to learn it all again. Makes your spine hurt. Why? Because I'm leaning over like this. I'm trying to stay in the camera. So but the guitar is the most important at this point. I'll substrate for you. But yeah, guys. Hey, thanks again. Thanks for hanging out. I got to do the elephant again. And the horse. Nancy says we all took that amazing sound for right. Exactly. You know. I was thinking about it. Like during the 90s, there was the Van Halen, the Gary Sharon album, you know, and I'm not going to go there right now. I'm not a big fan of that record, even though I appreciate it. Gary didn't work in the way that I think I imagined him working. I thought he was going to be amazing because, I mean, you know, Extreme was the jam and still are. But that's not an amazing record in my book. But I never got to the point where I didn't mind telling people that I liked Van Halen. There was never a point where I felt kind of ashamed. You know, all through the 90s when grunge was happening or all that, it was like, yeah, I get it. I like the new music. I like Pearl Jam and I like Nirvana. And all through the late 90s, I still was like, I'd put on Van Halen whenever, just because that stuff was just awesome, you know? Yeah, right on. Yeah, have that ready for your neighbors. Cool. Yeah, you got to have a whammy bar for that one. But yeah, it's just yeah, thank you guys. Hey, what's up, Jeff? How you doing, man? Thanks for tuning in, man. Yeah, Eddie was the jam. And if you really want to learn Eddie stuff, you got to learn where that blue note is within the pentatonic, and then within all the shapes, you know. So there would be like the 10th fret on the B string would be just like here, but an octave up. You know, try anymore. Just what's up, Alex? How you doing, man? Just it has been an emotional ride, and really, there's been so many people that are. Thanks, brother. There's been so many people just that I didn't even think were really big Van Halen fans that have just been sharing stuff on Facebook, like how much it really gets them. Hey, look, this one even had an Eddie Van Halen poster feature. I'm sure Cat setting, yeah, Luke and rolling through there. I'm sure was on my wall as a kid. Yeah, that's not in here anymore. I think one of these still has a poster. Yeah, there's an Ozzy poster in this one. I got Ozzy and Jake E. Lee. Everybody liked Jake E. Lee. He was like kind of like the opposite of Eddie in that sense that he didn't use the whammy bar. He kind of came around and had his own thing. Like so many dudes from the 80s would not even be known if it wasn't for Eddie. Even Steve Vai, sure, would have come out somewhere, right? Jake E. Lee was a badass dude. And so is John Sykes from Whitesnake and Blue Murder. And Steve got his big break because Eddie and Dave split, and of course, Jimi Hendrix in there. Dude, this was the kind of stuff I lived for back then. There's all these magazines. It was like we didn't have the internet, like we'd sit there in English class or music class. If we had music class, God, the last couple of years of high school when I could play guitar for a class, it was just like, woohoo, good night, Pops. Thanks for hanging, bud. It was just, it was just so great to sit there with people and just learn things like just learn the dumbest things, and just try to do it faster and faster and faster, and that's where Paul Gilbert took the drill. He was like, well, yeah, that's cool, but I'm going to put some picks on the end of it, and like I did with the fan that one time. But that's probably so loud. Sorry. But yeah, that's some fun stuff, man. Eddie was a master. And to get that sound, you'll never get it. You could chase it forever, but you just, you got to have some gain that cleans up really nicely. You can't have the kind of I played in my time of dying in order. Oh, right. Oh yeah, guitar ensemble, right? Eddie Clean would just clean it up. He just used that dirty old like Kevin was saying, a cold biased amp, and clean it up and just make it react with the guitar. Like that's why the Floyd worked for him. Floyd Rose was like part of the guitar. Oh yeah, Running with the Devil. Somebody asked about hearing Running with the Devil. I should at least consult the book, right? I know it's in here. There's Panama. It's so funny. Like we all have like a first moment where we kind of just were like, right, I remember hearing Van Halen for the first time. That whole, that swang. He just had it, like he just had it. What's that solo in there? That's not too hard of a solo. Yeah, I'm trying trying to read as I play, but my eyes don't read that well anymore, you know. Diamond Dave, yeah, right. One Steve Vai riff I always felt like was his way, his little nod. There's a couple of them for sure, you know. The Going Crazy, I can't remember. I can't remember the Going Crazy, but there's also this one. That Steve was like, all right, I'm going to give David Lee Roth a little of that swagger here. And his sense of rhythm was off, right? It was, man. And it made those chords just sound so different when he would play them like that. Will, I hear you, buddy. At 9 o'clock, you know, 9:15, you're just like, 5 comes early these days. But yeah, Will, thanks for hanging. And yeah, that off-kilter rhythm, and then playing with his brother who just knew how to listen. You know, if you have somebody that knows how to listen to you the way that Alex would listen to Eddie and vice versa, that compensation that they pulled together was what made those grooves too, you know, like, just so smoking hot, just so great. And yeah, I've been going for 45 minutes now for a little while, and I probably should call it a night, but I do thank you guys for hanging out, for helping me kind of get through the past couple days, for everybody reaching out. It's been quite a journey with Eddie, you know, watching him just guide us all the way that he did through all of this, and just everybody taking a little stuff, you know, the notes he didn't play, right? Yeah, the notes that he just didn't play. I'll make sure I save all this. I'll leave it up on Facebook. I won't let it go away. You played for a good couple hours, right? Yep. Yeah. Thank you guys. Seriously. Thank you all for hanging out. Just an amazing dude that we lost, and it shocked me. I think it shocked a lot of us. So I'll leave it at that, you know. I'll just go as low as I can go, right? You know. So yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks for hanging. Hit a like. I see a lot of you guys hit likes. That really does help the channel. It puts it in the algorithm and all that stuff. And if you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button. I've been busy, man. I've been busy. A lot of people have been helping me, man. Thank you guys. Really, thank you. This whole arcade project, it's just insane. Like, just the stuff that's happened this year. And I would have never thought this time last year we'd be where we are right now. Yeah, rest in peace, Eddie. You got it, Alex, man. Oof. Thank you, guys. I'm gonna head out. Again, take care. Rest in peace, Eddie. We love you. We'll miss you forever, brother. Thank you, guys.